Hello, this is Mad Cat, and I'm going to show you a little math trick I discovered a really long time ago, and I've never seen anyone else ever do it before. And I can't be the only one who's thought this up before. Someone else must have done it, but I've never seen anyone else do it, so I'm going to show it to you. And if you've seen it somewhere else, please let me know if someone else has done this before, but this was something that I sort of figured out on my own. Not that I've ever been able to use it to make me money, but you know. Now, I apologize ahead of time for my really horrible drawing skills. My hands are really shaky, not because I'm nervous, it's just something that I do. So, you have to suffer. We'll start off with 9 times 9. Now, at this point in my life, I don't really need to do math in order to figure out that this is 81. So, what if I wanted to do a number higher than that? We'll say 10 times 10. I'm really bad at drawing, I apologize. So, in math, they taught us that you take the two zeros and you write them below, and then 1 times 1 is 1, so you get 100. What if we wanted to go above this? So, say we wanted to do 11 times 12. Well, in school, what they taught us is to do 2 times 1 is 2. Then 2 times 1 is 2. Then put a 0 down here. And then 1 times 1 is 1. 1. And then the answer is 132. But what if I could show you how to do this in your head? And you don't have to go through all of these steps here just to do it. It's actually very simple. Alright, so in order to do this, we have to remember this calculation. 13 times 13. Now I'll just tell you what the answer is. 169. So long as you remember this, you can always remember how this works. So, how do we do this? Well, 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 plus 3 equals 6. 1 times 1 equals 1. Now, I know what you must be saying. Well, no way. This is just a strange trick with just 13 times 13. No way that this could work every single time. Well, yes, it actually can work every single time. From numbers 11 through 19. Okay, well, let's have another example. Let's have 11 times 11. So, kind of looks like a weird smiley right there. So, 1 times 1, 1. 1 plus 1, 2. And then 1 times 1, 1. And let's check our calculator here. 11 times 11, 121, which is the answer I got. Okay, well, let's try mixing this up. Let's say 13 times 12. Well, let's do the math. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. 156. Let's check our calculator. 13 times 12. 156. Okay, so what about 15 times 15? So 5 times 5 is 25. Well, now we have a remaining 2. Where does that 2 go? Well, I'll show you. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Plus 2 is 12, so we put a 2 right here. We have a remaining 1. 1 times 1 is 1, plus 1 is 2. Let's check our calculator. 15 times 15, 225. So let's make this a little bit more challenging. Say 19 times 17. 9 times 7, 63. Got a remaining 6 up here. 9 plus 7 is 16, plus 6 is 22. 2. Remainder 2 up here. 1 times 1 plus 2 is 2. So that didn't work for us. Why not? Well, when we get above 15, we actually have to include an additional 1 in order for us to get to the correct answer. 323. So 1 times 1, so now I include this as just a 1. I make this a solid 1, so 2 plus 1 equals 3. 19 times 19, 81. Got an 8 carried over. Now this is 18 plus 8, which is 26. Got a 2. Make this a big 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 361. If we have something that carries over into the tens unit, that's when we have to add an additional 1. So 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 1. 165. Let's do 15 and 13. 15, 8, 9, 195. Okay, so far so good. 15 times 14 will require us to do the extra 1, so this is 20, 2, 9, 10, 11. Put the 1 over here, and this will be 210 because we treat this as a very big 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's just a rule that you're going to have to remember when you do this. If we have something that carries over into the tens unit, we have to treat the 1s as a big 1. Now, what about the 20s unit? Well, we know that 20 times 20 is 400. Put the 2 zeros down. 2 times 2 is 4. All right. What about if we want to do 21 times 21? Can we apply the same rules? Well, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 421. Is that the correct answer? 21 times 21. No, it's not. How do we fix this then? Easy. Once we get to about 20, this rule is going to remain consistent all the way up to the 90s. How we do this is 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then we look at this right here, and whatever this number is, we multiply it by this. So 2 times 2 is 4. Yeah, that's a horrible 4, by the way. It looks more like a Y. And then we know 2 times 2 is 4. And that's what we got, 441. Well, let's try this again. 23, one of my favorite numbers, times 23. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 plus 3 is 6. Multiplied by 2 is 12, which has a 1 carried over. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. 23 times 23, 529. What happens when we get to 25? do the rules change for us? Well, let's start with 25 times 25. Yeah, I'm really, really bad at this. Okay, so 5 times 5 is 25. Got a 2 carried over. 5 plus 5 is 10. Now, important here is we have to do the multiplication with this first before we add in the remainder. So 5 plus 5 is 10, times 2 is 20, plus the 2 is 22. So 2 here, put a remainder up here. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6. 625. Let's find out. 25 times 25, 625. So let us try 29 times 27. So 9 times 7 is 63. Okay. 9 plus 7 is 16 times 2, which is 32, plus 6, which is 38. So put a 3 here. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. 783. 29 times 27, 783. So what about 31 times 32? Does it still work? Well, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Times 3, which is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 992. Is that correct? 31 times 32. 992. 33. 33. So 9, 6 times 3 is 18. 9, 10. 1089. 33 times 33, 1089. Once again, 3 times 3, 9. 3 plus 3 is 6 times 3, 18. That gives us our 8. Then 3 times 3 plus 1, 10. So 39 times 31. 9 times 1, 9. 9 plus 1, 10, times 3, which is 30. So we put a 0 down here. 3 up here. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 3, which is 12. 1209. 1209. So this works pretty far up. 68 times 62. So 8 times 2. No, so 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1 over. 8 plus 2, which is 10, times 6, which is 60, plus the 1. So we put the 6 down, the 1 down here. 6 up here. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 6, which is 42. 4216. 68 times 62. 4216. Now, let me show you where this doesn't work. Say I want to do 32 times 27. 7 times 2 is 14. We carry the 1 over. 7 plus 2, which is 9, times 3 is 27, plus the 1 is 8. Put the 2 here. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 864. We're off by 20. Now, what if we took 7 plus 2, 9, multiplied it by 2, which is 18, plus the 1, 19, well, now we're off by 30. This is where this little trick gets broken. We cannot take a number in the 30s range and multiply it by the 20s range and do the same trick. This only works as if both numbers are in the same tens unit. So if we're going to do a 30 number up here, we have to do a 30 number down here in order for the trick to remain. If we try to mix it, it just simply won't work. As far as multiplying the same numbers together, I mean, you could have 88 times 88. So it'll still work for this, but it's a little bit harder to do all this in your head. So 8 times 8 is 64. 8 plus 8 is 16. Use my little calculator to cheat. Times 8 is 128. Plus 6. 4. And then we put 13 up here. 8 times 8 is 64 plus 13, which is 77. 7744. Still works. This will work all the way up to 99. So like 97 times 96. Same principles apply. So 7 times 6, which is 42. Put the 4 up here. Okay, now we have 7 plus 6, which is 13. Pull up my calculator to cheat here. 13 times 9 plus 4. So we put a 1 right here and put a 12 up here. So 9 times 9 plus 12, 93. 9312. 9312. Now this is harder to do in your head because you're actually doing more problems, but it is still far easier than the alternative. If you can do multiple problems like that in your head and keep track of all of them, then this should come easy for you. But even I, as smart as I am, do have a little bit of difficulty with this. Before my disability, I was able to do it just fine, but now not so much. So 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 9, 6 times 2 is 12. Put up the 1 and 4, 5, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3. And see, I'm close, but yeah, the rules just really change from here, and it's just not worth doing it. So this is a simple math trick that I learned where you can multiply any two numbers in the same tens unit against each other and how to quickly do it in your head. Of course, this does have its flaws. It's not a perfect system, but if you remember where you can and can't do it, it can be handy. I mean, like, again, I don't know why this is useful, but, well, here it is. Math does crazy things sometimes. So I hope you enjoyed this. And again, if someone else has figured this out, please let me know. It'll make me sleep better at night knowing that someone else has thought this up, that I'm not the only one. Anyways, thank you for suffering my horrible, horrible, horrible drawing skills. I'm a writer, so that's why I'm not an artist. Please share with everyone, because, you know, I see these things on Facebook all the time, so have at it, share on Facebook, and I hope you learned something today. Anyways, take care.